TGIF. We made it to Friday. It's Friday, March 14th, 2025. As we go into today and the upcoming weekend, there's kind of an about face with the weather. Some of you have already experienced that if you're along the West Coast into the Great Basin states and the desert Southwest, as the Pacific storm came off the coast during the day yesterday and overnight and is now rapidly moving through the region. There is going to be about a 12-hour period today where all of you will experience wind, a sharp drop in temperature, maybe a few snow showers. The snow is going to be kind of haphazard. There'll be some pockets of snow where it could come down pretty good, especially over the high country, near the mountains, and right along the Continental Divide. Out east of the divide, downslope winds will negate any significant snow. It'll be windy and a lot colder with just a few snow showers. Traveling today, whether in a car, a truck, or getting on an airplane, is going to be a little tricky in spots. So kind of be prepared for a little bit of everything. It is March. March is when Mother Nature can throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, and sometimes even that. The system is extremely fast moving. So after a rather stormy day today and unsettled conditions, we will see the weather improve a bit over the weekend, although over the weekend it will remain chilly, windy, and there will still be high country snow shower activity. The next storm system comes off the west coast and will bring light to moderate snow and rain chances to the Intermountain West and the western high plains. It's not going to end up being a big storm, but it will be able to produce another nice shot of snow for the mountains to help the snowpack. It'll bring another shot of precipitation to some low elevations, and again, it'll be west of the divide that does the best. But it'll be a little bit more of a productive system in terms of moisture than the one currently moving through. In the long term, a lot of model disagreement. We'll talk about this on Monday, but we do have a stratospheric warming event taking place, the third one this winter. And that, at the end of this month into April, could play a role in the weather pattern across North America. And I think we're starting to get into that time range of the modeling as we go 10 days or more, where the models are kind of having a difficult time figuring out what to do. But through the middle of next week, it's going to be an active pattern with the storm today and the next storm system Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, we did have a few folks that were able to get out and experience the lunar eclipse last night. I know most of you, I know this happened to me, just too many clouds, but some folks were able to be patient, like Dale here near Casper was able to get a shot of the lunar eclipse as there was a break in the clouds just in time for that. Down into south central Colorado, you can see a break in the clouds is there as well, even some stars there in the background. Well, yesterday, the Sierra Nevada got walloped with a good shot of snow, as you can see there. Beautiful shot. That's moonlight that you're seeing illuminating the mountain slopes there. The Sierras and the western mountains of the U.S. will pick up another round of snow today, and then again as we get into early next week. Even a late afternoon sundog right here as the moisture increasing in the mid and high levels, bringing those increasing clouds. And great lenticulars there. We have some really good lenticular formations here over the last couple of days. As I said, if you're going to be traveling, you've got a lot to worry about. Whether you're driving, you're going to have the opportunity to drive through snow, winter storm conditions. You're going to be driving through very strong winds. All of the pink, all of this brown that you're seeing right here is because of very strong and gusty winds. Then we have the winter weather advisories in purple, the winter storm warnings here in pink, all throughout the west. We've got winter storm watches here for parts of Minnesota, the eastern Dakotas, as that winter storm rolls up into that area tomorrow. And as we've been mentioning, as we'll show you here in a minute, severe weather is going to be making news headlines here over the next couple of days. In Wyoming, you can really see the difference. If you're just right along the mountains, west of the mountains, you've got winter weather advisories as that Pacific moisture will just hit the mountains and the higher terrain, producing a good shot of snow. Then the air goes downhill, downsloping, east and along of I-25, causing high winds and just basically extinguishing the snow and the moisture as it crosses the divide. So that's going to happen again. Satellite and radar this morning. The satellite was not updating, so didn't want to show it to you. It was about 12 hours old, but you can see more moisture here into California, and you can kind of see the curl. The low is about in the Four Corners area right now, and this axis of moisture. Now, the radar isn't getting all of this, but there's an axis of showers right along here north of the low that's going to be pushing through Montana, Wyoming, and northern Colorado today. That's what's prompted the winter storm and winter weather advisory meeting, those advisories and watches and warnings as this band advances very quickly eastward. We talked about severe weather. The severe weather risk is extremely high today in the Midwest. It's not often you get yellow, orange, and red stacked up on top of each other. So this means a very, very high confidence level in severe weather. So if you're transiting the U.S. today, especially in an airplane, you can see it really, we have the thunderstorm threat from the Gulf Coast all the way up to the Canadian border. But the bullseye for Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, and then tomorrow, the shift of the severe weather, and there could be a lot of really bad weather down here tomorrow. And then by Sunday, it gets along the East Coast areas. All due to this. By noon today, the system is going to be all the way into western Kansas. This morning, it's right here. So it just moves along, then intensifies and rolls all the way up into Minnesota by tomorrow. Northwest winds aloft will pump in some colder Canadian air. Nothing terribly cold, but we've gotten spoiled this week. So be ready for a blustery cold day. Mountain snow showers in the west and northwest flow will continue over the high country of Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and parts of northern Colorado and northern Utah, putting down some more fresh snow for you skiers throughout the course of the weekend. Then here is the next trough that is queued up to come down and by the early parts of next week move through. We've been harping on the wind, and really it's today and tomorrow into Sunday where the winds across the United States are very, very strong, especially in this area right here. But you can see there's a lot of dark green shading, a lot of yellow, orange shading where the winds are going to be very strong. So really across the nation, the wind is going to be a factor. Precipitation. This is what the moisture looks like through Sunday. So you can see the axis of the heavier snow that's going to be up here, the severe weather here, and then you can see that along and west of the divide, the moisture is caught by the mountains, and then we have the downsloping hole right here. So this takes us through Sunday. So you can see the Pacific Northwest coast, Northern California, the Sierras, and even into Southern California and Arizona, there are more opportunities for precipitation. And this is what the snowfall looks like between now and Sunday. Then next week, by Tuesday noontime, we've got a low over Utah, and you can see that we just keep these waves coming about every 3 or 4 days. This system is not going to move as fast. It's still a relatively quick mover, but it's not going to zip through like the one today is going to do. So with it moving a little bit slower, by Wednesday, there will be an opportunity that we could see along the path of this low, a decent little axis of light to moderate precipitation along the path of this low Tuesday into Wednesday. So again, not a big storm system. I'd call it a typical March system. Comes through, deposits a good chunk of snow in the mountains, will bring a little bit of moisture to the plains, and another round of colder weather. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll have more for you on Monday.